Welcome to Nacho Fitness Coach. I'm Sarah, the expert.
And I'm Caleigh, the beginner.
Join us as we discuss fitness culture
from our two very different perspectives.
So grab yourself a protein shake
or a glass of wine.
And let's get started. So Caleigh.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of anyone mention like that they have this goal to get toned?
That's my goal.
That's your goal?
I mean, it was to drop a few lbs. And isn't that kind of the next logical?
It depends.
Okay.
So when you say you
depends
want
on what your goals are. I had a freaking nickel for every time you said that. Hate you.
I say that a lot. It's like, well, I mean, it just depends.
I've been starting to say it to people though.
You know, it's not the response that most people want.
Well, it's true though.
It is true.
Okay.
Like it depends. Okay. So now that is your goal, what is your definition of you just want to get toned?
I mean, I guess just like a little definition, a little getting unfluffy. Unfluff. I want to unfluff.
I like that. Okay. Unfluff. Definition in what way?
I don't know.
Oh.
You tell me.
Well, I mean.
It sounded good.
It depends.
Depends on what your goals are.
Depends.
Hate you.
Depends. Well, I mean, it's just a common thing I feel like you see. Or like a lot of magazines. They'll be, do this 20-minute workout this month and you're going to get toned. Or,
I mean, I guess now that we're honestly talking about this, I don't know what the hell get toned means. I really don't.
Everyone asks for it. I feel like it's a common thing to
I just said I want to do it.
Right. And you're like, well, I just want to get toned.
I want to get toned.
That's what my goal is.
I don't even know what it
I
means.
don't know what it is. I've just been that heavily marketed to that's what you should strive for.
Right.
If you're in a health and wellness goal.
But am I right? Kind of unfluff? Kind of.
Yes, you can unfluff.
Get less squishy.
You can get less squishy.
Is that toning?
Yes.
Okay.
That's by definition, I would say. And typically someone's looking to feel less fluffy. So
I'm not trying to get like massive, but I have seen like with the body weight workouts, I have seen some like definite, well, the changes in my calves probably have more to do with the running than the body weight. But since like I've been seeing a difference in my arms, and so that's what I'm like kind of chasing. I'm like, I need to figure out how to keep doing this.
You're like, ooh, now I'm feeling like it's not just all like the bat wings, the wiggle.
Yeah, I think.
And feeling like you've got some.
Well,
there's still some work to be done there.
But look,
I know you're getting a little bit of bicep, a little baby bicep there. It's just so cute.
Show me yours. I showed you mine. Now you show me yours.
I'm actually like a really.
Whoa! Damn!
Woo! There.
What were some guns, girl? All right, I got some work to do. Sure, these are the guns. Put those away. It's getting dangerous in here. Put those away.
I'm like, I don't know. It's been a while since I flexed.
Dang.
Is that a lot?
Yeah,
I can't tell from here.
I feel wildly inadequate now.
You're like, well, next time I'm not going to taunt you. I'm like,
we'll do a calf challenge later. Just kidding. I just thought about that. Just kidding.
Nope.
I've seen you lift.
You've heard it too.
I've heard
I
it.
grunt. I lift heavy. Okay, so this does tend to be like a common thing that a lot of people are striving for.
Little people?
A lot of people.
Oh.
I mean, little people, big people, tall people, short people, a lot of people.
Okay.
You see it. Maybe it's because we've been marketed to.
Yeah, I think it is.
You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's definitely out there a lot. If you're planning some sort of health and wellness like adventure, you should just strive to get toned. But I know for me, I feel happier when I'm not squishy.
Yeah.
I've been squishy. I've been pregnant 4 times.
Yeah.
That's a lot of squish.
It's a lot of squish.
So what tends to seem like happens a lot when people think are striving for getting toned, what do you think is the number one thing people tend to go to?
To get toned?
Yeah.
Lifting weights?
Well, that's actually the correct answer.
Oh. That's what I think.
Most people, I feel like, they start doing cardio.
Oh,
That's not going to get you there. You're like, well, just common sense, Caleigh.
That's how I dropped the lbs.
It's like, I was able to shred some of the fat using that, but that's not. You could also shred fat and just be in a caloric deficit, you don't have to do that with cardio. There's lots of different ways.
But if you love to do cardio, you can do that too.
If you love it, you should do it. If you don't,
I'm going to become a crusader for like, I feel like there's like
you're going to balance out my hateful,
I feel like there's like a
campaign
against cardio right now that I'm not appreciating. Not just with you, like in general.
In general, that's true. Because it went so far that way. There was this.
Well, I don't know.
It just.
I missed all that.
It's the most used equipment in a gym. Yeah. You don't know, you have never really done anything before. What's the easiest thing to just go do?
Hop on the treadmill.
Yeah. Push, go. Yep. Move the buttons. You're in and you're out. And so, yes, it is simple. It has its place. I'm not saying it doesn't.
And if you love it, do it.
If you love it, do it. It makes you happy.
If you don't like it.
Because if you love it, you're going to keep doing it. Yeah. Right? And that's the overall goal for sure. But if you truly have a goal to get toned, you have to build muscle. Yeah. And not only do you have to build muscle, but then you also have to pay attention to decreasing your body fat. Yep. Because if you just work on getting stronger and you build the muscle, that's when I feel like a lot of people say, well, I don't want to get bulky.
Yeah. You hear that a lot.
You hear that way too much. It doesn't, trust me, those bodybuilders, like if that's what you have a picture is a figure competitor on stage is your definition of getting bulky.
You're not in danger of looking.
You don't just wake up one day looking like that. Trust me. Trust me. That's a very calculated effort. Right. Like that just doesn't magically happen one day because you're picking up heavy things. Yep. That's a whole nother topic. But if you're getting stronger and not paying attention to what is going on with your body fat, that layer that's sitting on top of those new muscles that you've now grown and shapen beautifully and that could give you a feeling of being bulky because you're going to be bigger. Yeah. Right. But getting toned you got to pay attention to both sides of the equation. Right. And you're not going to get toned by doing fitness classes, swinging around 5-pound dumbbells. Oh, well, okay. I shouldn't be hating on the 5-pound dumbbells. Wah, wah, wah. Poor Caitlin. Like, wait a second. You have to start somewhere. That's right. When you get ready for your next chapter, we're going to learn how to lift some heavy weights.
That's what I would like to do.
But you got to get there first. You got to crawl before you walk, before you run.
Duck walks.
And all the body weight stuff. But that's that is one thing to consider is, it's a journey. Yeah. And it's not the overnight thing, but taking those steps and starting and then doing what you can and then not being complacent. So we talked about Tom's little list of the Just Say No challenge, right? So don't be complacent. Right. Get something going, but then be like, okay, what can I add to this? What can I go do that's more? Yeah. And ultimately, if you want to achieve a toned physique where you're less fluffy, got some good curve to your muscle,
some striations.
I mean, I love me some good striations, especially my shoulders, my triceps. I mean, I like to walk around looking like a fitness model. Well, I still have a little bit left to go, but I gave myself lots of time after baby number 4. It's not going to rush on this one.
Yeah, she's about to graduate. Right? No,
money. Oh, no, she's not. But it's go time. Yeah. But you eventually do have to get to the point where you got to be ready to lift some heavy weights. Yeah. You think of your overall life. So your body weight squats are great because you're your own body weight, you're going up and down, whatever. Right. But think of how many times in everyday life you are doing squats to get something off the ground, to go pick up something, you're picking up groceries or.
I've been lifting with my back my whole life. So.
Oh, that's a whole, we need to talk about that situation. Bend your knees, people. Bend your knees.
Working on it. Yeah, you do a lot of squats.
You do a lot of, or just movement.
I've noticed that for sure. Like, I've been making more of an effort, like, when I'm doing laundry, I just take all the clothes out of the dryer right there in the laundry room, bend down and make it a stupid production that it is completely unnecessary. Yes. But you're moving your body in that way, being able to do that. Or, people that have pets, you're picking up probably a 20, 30, 50 pound bag of dog food and, you're getting that up out of
You're getting it off the aisle. You're getting it into your car. You're getting it into your house. You're pouring it up to dump it in a container potentially. You know, you're already forcing your body to move in those ways in life.
Yep.
So how much is your 5-pound weight really probably changing you?
Right. Probably not a lot. That's fine.
I mean, it's a start.
It's fine.
But when you really look,
I don't even use, when I do squats, like with my body weight workouts, I don't even use my weights.
oh no.
Sometimes I do, I guess.
It'd be better than nothing.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you think about it that way, it's, you got to put some sort of force on your body that it's not already doing consistently every day. So the weight room cannot be scary.
Oh.
I'm just going to let you sit there with that one. Like, I feel like I just crushed your soul. It's like, you're going to have to get there.
Okay.
At some point.
That's my goal. That's what I want.
I like it.
Get there. It's fine.
I mean, well, you told me your goal is getting toned. So that's what you have to do to get.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you have to do to get there.
That's probably the next hurdle. Just like getting into the gym.
Well, yes.
I got the gym membership.
Right?
Took me a long time.
That's true. I did. What, 7 years did we figure out? Right? Finally cashed that in.
Yep.
So that is.
Haven't been for like.
I know. Well, we're going to go now. I know. We got to figure out that schedule. Yeah. So, you know, you hear that goal a lot with the get toned.
Yeah.
But oftentimes their path of what they think it's going to take to get there is not what's actually going to get them that look.
Yeah. So
it's a combination of changing the shape of your muscles, lifting heavy.
Heavy?
Heavy.
What's heavy?
It depends on the lift. You know, 20-pound dumbbells for shoulder lifts can be a lot, but
sounds like a lot.
You need to do way more for your big muscles, which I would consider like your back, your squats, your glutes, your hamstring, your glutes, your quads, and your back. I would consider like your really large muscle groups. And so those require a lot more to get them to change.
Sure.
Especially if you're a tall person, then it's even harder.
Yeah.
You know, your distance between your connection points, the taller you are, the harder it is to get them to actually pop out, if that makes sense. That's why a lot of people you'll see that are shorter do end up being ones that are really super successful.
Right.
Like bodybuilding competitions or gymnasts, because it's easier to move your body. Your limbs are shorter. Mm-hmm. You know, everything looks a little differently. But, you know, so you have to take that in consideration too. Like you can't change your height. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you will have some, you can thank your mom and dad for that.
Right.
You'll have some limitations, but that's not all the limitations you're going to have. But just not underestimating that it takes the combination of both. You got to change your muscle shape, but then you have to pay attention to what your body fat is laying over top of it.
Yeah.
If you're going to see it or not.
Yep.
Which is nutrition and cardio. So
just do all the things.
You got to do all the things.
Do everything right.
All the time. All the time. Remember how we just said that you don't have to be perfect? Now we're lying to you. You say, actually, if you want to
always be perfect,
you always have
if you want to be toned, it has pure perfection.
Yes. And you're just going to eat out of Rubbermaid containers for the rest of your life because you can never go to a restaurant again.
Right.
I mean, you just have life as you know it is just gone.
Great. Sounds great. Sounds so fun.
I'm kidding. That's an extreme case.
I can't wait.
I mean, you can do that.
Yeah.
It's just not super sustainable typically.
No. You eyeing that chocolate?
I am kind of a little bit, but I'm like, okay, so we got this chocolate because all of a sudden I was like, I need to have like a little something to snack on. I got to have a frozen chocolate bar somewhere. No.
Oh.
My pantry is very. I don't keep a lot of stuff at home because I would eat it.
Not be happy in your pantry.
No. My kids really aren't either. It's fine. It's fine. They don't know any better. So I was like, I gotta have a chocolate bar here somewhere. And it's like, 70%
pure dark
cocoa, like Madagascar.
70% cocoa. Yeah, that was some bitter.
It is chocolate. Lenny the lemur.
Sarah brought out a bar of chocolate and was like, here,
it's like, I've got some candy.
We're going to get wild. Wine and chocolate bar. I was like, yeah.
And it's like, ooh.
But I saw a look on her face when she ate a piece. And I was like, oh, Sarah don't like it.
You know, I got to be in a certain mood for the really dark chocolate, but I thought for sure it would be fine. A little bit of something just to like.
It's not fine. But you're still looking at it like.
I am kind of like. Okay,
like you wish it.
I might try to get.
What it could have been if it was.
I don't know.
Regular.
I mean, that's how we run this house. We don't, if it's here.
You run this house.
That's how I run my house. Is because I know if it's here, somebody is going to eat it. Mm-hmm. And I don't want it here because then that way when we go out into the world, what do you do I know it's all there.
I know we're going off on a tangent here. But what do you do with like Halloween candy, Valentine's candy?
So
you donate it.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I let them eat on it that night till literally their tummies are like sore. Okay, have at it, kids. You have all the candy you want, and I will put it up in the cabinet. And like the next day, they might ask for a piece. The next day or two, I'll, if they remember that it was just Halloween and they had candy, like I'll give them a few days. But then I do just start dumping stuff in a bag and I donate it to the local youth center. And I let the middle school and high school kids just enjoy it. So I have taken bags of candy.
Wow. My kids would never.
Before I tried once.
They know each and every.
I tried once to start the Switch Witch. Have you heard anything about the Switch Witch?
I don't know what that means.
So for Halloween specifically, we had some friends that
I know where you're going.
At night, like if you put out your collection of candy that you just
they bring you a toothbrush or
they
something?
bring you a toy.
Oh, no.
Like you set out, the Switch Witch comes.
There's a protein shake, kiddos.
If you set out all your payment to the Switch Witch and they'll bring you a toy. And so Elle was old enough and I was like, okay, yes. We're going to do the Switch Witch in this house because we don't need the candy here.
Yeah, you're always going to, obviously.
And she looked at me very unimpressed.
She would be the one too.
And it was a grimace, with her little scowl with her eyebrows and was like, I'm not down for that. So no to the Switch Witch. And so it's okay, fine. So, the Halloween candy, it used to stay for a while and I had it up in the cabinets. We kept it in individual named bags. So it would all stay separate and all the things. And then they would forget about it after a couple of days. Yeah. And it was always out of sight, out of mind. I didn't leave it out on the counter. I let them eat as much of it as they wanted to that particular night, put it away.
Yeah.
And then, the last year or so, whenever I've got a collection of Halloween, Valentine's Day, Christmas candy.
Yeah.
But before I was always I don't want to say limiting, but I'd be like, no, you don't need to go trick or treat at the youth event plus on Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, let's pick one because the candy is too much.
That is a lot.
But now I'm like, I have a solid place to donate it to. That
we ain't going to get any of the candy anyway.
Now you can go get as much candy as you want. You have fun with that. Oh, no. You go do that.
It is a lot of candy. And especially, I know what you mean because like right after that holiday, it's like their mind is on it. They know they have that like fresh bag of candy.
It is there, but it fades when it's out of sight, out of mind.
And then you end up with like a bag of stale candy.
Yes. And I always felt guilty throwing it away because it's good candy.
For someone else's kids.
For someone else's kids.
Specifically.
So I donated it. But it made me happy knowing that it would go somewhere and that people would use it instead of it just putting it in the trash. Because for a long time it did just go in the trash. Which, well, I don't like to waste
another
food.
Thing I've seen is people doing like, I don't know what the right word is, experiments or like kind of like a little like cooking session. Experiment session with their candies of like, let's take these candies and like melt them all together and see what happens. And like basically just
wasting it.
Yeah, it is wasting it.
That's wasteful.
But is it educational? Fun?
Sure. It is. Yes,
we haven't done it. We've never done it.
Yeah. I mean,
but I wouldn't have said that.
I would do that with, I feel like a lot of like Jolly Ranchers or things like that you get, or parades. That's another one where I was always trying to get the kids to like share with everyone around us because we didn't need to drag a bunch of candy home from parades.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. I'm like, no, push her down.
Get it. Bring it home. Come on.
And then we get the bag of candy home. I'm like, why? What is this episode about, though?
Getting toned. And then apparently you think you can't get toned and still eat candy.
You were eyeballing that candy.
Oh, yeah, because I came down and I looked at the chocolate.
Very affectionately
I know.
caressing.
And so I have a sweet tooth. I love chocolate. I have a bottomless pit for cupcakes and ice cream and all the things. For me, I've just learned over the years that one great tactic is I just don't have it at my house.
Yeah, that's not a bad.
And so when we're out and about, you know, if there are people that see us only when we're out and about, they would probably think our nutrition is completely garbage because
I don't think anybody locally thinks that about you. Go off.
But you know, it's like, you know, because I'm always getting the extra dessert at the cafe. I'm getting, you know, just a regular meal. I'm not special ordering anything. But that's because I save that to be our balance, if you will. You know, that 80-20 rules always applied 20%. In all these different ways, but 80% of the time we're eating our meals at home. So I make sure that we've got, you know, the stuff that's going to give that good foundation.
Yeah.
But that's the balance that I have found that works well for me and my family to get to the point where I'm within 10 pounds of being my ideal, like, level of toneness. So I can, you know, look like I could step on stage at any given time if I decide to come out of retirement without a lot of effort. But why not? You know, just, it's a good spot to be.
So if you're like,
your goal,
if you're like legit training for like one of your competitions, which you haven't in how many years?
My oldest was 9 months old when I did my last competition. So it's been 8 years.
Okay. Like, can you enjoy a little bit of chocolate bar when you're doing that, or no?
It depends
on what your goals are. We're going to change the name of the podcast.
It just depends.
Depends on what your goals are.
It depends. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, people will be like, as in like the adult diapers, or as in like the actual word. It's super confusing.
It depends. Depends on what your goals are.
Depends.
Would you do that if you were training right now for one of those competitions? Would that be here right now?
I did find ways to build that into my plans. Yes. But because of the categories that I competed in, you don't have to get as lean as you need to be to compete in other categories. Yeah. So there is a wide range, and you pick your category that you want to strive for and compete with other people in. And every federation has different names and different categories for what their judging criteria is for that one. So I never competed in like the figure bodybuilding competition, like categories.
Yeah.
Mine was always more the fitness, the bikini. And so I did find ways to make sure, mostly because if I personally would leave that out, I binge.
Yeah.
After I got done.
Yeah.
And for me, that was not an option.
Yeah.
You know, after my first competition, I did, because I dieted pretty well for 6 consistent months when I did my first show.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do another one. Like, I caught the bug. I'm totally going to do another one. That means I can eat whatever I want to now, because I'm going to have to go back into comp prep.
Yep.
So I spent like 3 months. I was just like, I completely went off the deep end. Not binging, but just with like the choices.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can eat whatever, because I'm just going to have to go through that all again. That was a real eye opener for me, because then when I had to lose that all again, that was the worst. So there can be benefits to, if that becomes your cycle, to feel like, okay, I did that and I don't ever want to do that again. Yeah. That wasn't worth it to me. So you got to kind of find that balance for you, but that was not worth it to me. I will never do that again. So, but yes, I would find ways to work that in because I could.
Yeah.
And I needed to.
Yeah.
Because I love the sweets.
Okay. So this episode now
kind of derailed. I was getting tone, but it's, wait, it came full circle. So that's a good moral of the story, though, is you can give yourself some flexibility. But if you truly have that as your goal, just understand that is a combination of getting your muscle strength up to change the shape of your muscles. Because if you just do cardio and lose your fat, you'll just become a skinnier version of your current self. And that's not usually what people are striving for.
So when you're out walking down the street, you can look at people and be like, their tone, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can. Yeah. Well, we talked about it in another episode where it was the skinny fat, right?
Yeah.
It was episode 5 of this season. We talked about the skinny fat kind of thing.
Yep.
Those were always the girls that really surprised me when I would do their body composition, their fat pinch tests.
Yeah. Which we need to do.
We should do. I love
because I might still just be skinny fat. I don't know.
might be, and you really don't know.
I don't look toned to you right now.
I mean, you look leaner, like smaller as a human being as you did a year ago.
As you should.
But actually, taking your body fat percentage, and there's a ton of different ways
I would
that you
be
can
really
do that.
interested.
If you, and I do like using calipers because they're pretty accessible to people. Yeah. You can do them. And
we're at your house. Are they here?
They're at the gym. Of course, they're at the gym. Yeah. But yeah, we could get those, and we should do that live on a podcast.
Oh, where do you got to?
You could teach I could teach you how to do it. So I think technically you can do up to maybe 20 different spots, and depends on the formula that you use to calculate it. I choose one where you do 4 spots. Mm-hmm. Probably not as, I mean, if you have more data endpoints, you're going to get more specific. Yeah. But in my opinion, most people are concerned with 4 main areas in how they would define success if they're like looking at making change. One's in the tricep. The other one is...
I've been seeing some difference in my tricep.
You have? See, if we get the pinchers, we can actually pinch your fat fold.
Those Cobra
extensions. Okay. There we go. See, if you pinch your fat fold, then we'll actually be able to see if your fat layer is getting smaller or not, which is a good... If you're somebody that likes numbers and hard data, it's a great thing to do. So I would do the tricep, and then I do like right next to your belly button.
Where I had you feel last week.
Well, that's your hip. I do that too. I do that too. So I do right next to your belly button, right above your hip.
Get you a fitness coach that when you try to show her where you're gaining muscle, she tells you that's just a bone.
No, I'm just being honest. By the way, I'm not your fitness coach. So there we go.
Get you a friend.
There we go, a friend. And then I do a pinch that's like halfway up between your knee and your hip.
All right.
Because I feel like those areas are ones that most people want to see change the most.
Do you think you have less? What is it? What are we looking for? Body fat percentage?
Yeah.
Do you have less than me?
I don't know.
What do you think? Eyeball it.
Maybe.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
But then that'd be interesting because we could say, what's our height? What's our weight?
Yeah.
What's the size of jeans that we wear?
Yeah.
And then you can see, the differences, but I don't know. I mean, it might not be that different.
Can you handle me being better than you in that?
That would be questionable. We might be over. Maybe this was a bad idea.
This podcast's over.
Why? Caleigh and I aren't friends anymore. Why? She's got leaner than I did somehow. She's not even trying.
She didn't do anything.
She was a treadmill. Ran a 5K on her gravel road. Doesn't eat right. Completely. Eats her whole box of Kraft mac and cheese once a week.
Sue me.
But yeah. But
it's going to be the real test here.
It is the real test. Okay. Well, maybe I should just run and go get it. We'll do it before the next episode.
We could.
We'll do it. We'll do it for a future episode for sure. We'll do it live.
I think we should do it tonight.
Okay. Maybe we will. There we go. We can do that. Okay. So that is a key. If your goal truly is to get toned, just understand the different components of it.
Right. Know what it means because I didn't know.
Know what it means. Know what it's going to take to get there. And then be like, oh, is that really what I want to do?
Yeah.
To go get that. Because it is really super
important. And you're not going to accidentally become a bodybuilder.
No. Trust me. It is really complicated and hard.
Good. That's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
That keeps me up at night. Now I can actually move forward. Like, okay. I was really worried. That was really my hang up, was that I was going to accidentally
just wake up one day and look,
it's been a big concern of mine.
Mm-hmm. Well, good news. It doesn't just happen. So you're safe. You've been marked safe from accidentally waking up as a bodybuilder.
I've never thought about that. Obviously, it makes sense. And you always hear women say that. I don't want to get too bulky.
Yeah. It's a real thing.
You're not gonna.
No. See, common sense Caleigh. It's not quite at Caleigh anymore. It's just common sense Caleigh. You're like, well, duh. I'm like,
it makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
It does.
All right.
So, all right. Well, there you go. So I'm a huge fan of getting toned because I think it's a really good, you've got lots of different data points to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
To truly get there. But if that's not your goal, then that's fine too. Yeah. But for those
we don't care.
Might be, I don't care. You do you. It's fine. But just understand what it means if that is your goal, and then just go from there.
Yeah.
Put a plan in place. So anyways, I'm a huge fan of this topic because I feel like it's more complicated.
Yeah.
I don't want to say complicated than people make it, but don't understand it fully.
Right. I agree.
So
now
there we go.
I do.
Now you're like, oh, I learned a lot. So thanks.
Hopping on the bandwagon. Here we go.
No bandwagons.
Whatever Sarah says.
It's my bandwagon.
Whatever
it's
Sarah
fine.
says.
Yep. So very good. Okay. So that's it. That's what we got. We kind of came full circle on a couple different topics.
We went a lot of places there. It was a journey.
It tends to happen.
It's fine.
It's all good.
All
so
right.
Thanks for coming along for the ride.
Thanks for still listening.
Yeah.
If you are.
We don't know. So until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to head over to our Instagram at Nacho Fitness Coach and let us know how you feel about the topic. Do you love it or hate it?
Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening. And if you like our podcast, leave us a rating. See you next time.
You've been listening to Euphony Innovatives Sonified.